The following preview is brought to you by Veritas Radio at veritasradio.com. Tonight's special guest is quarterback, congressman, convict, and political prisoner James A. Traficant Jr., the victim of a wrongful conviction because of his frank, straightforward politics. Traficant was railroaded out of Congress in 2002 because he was not willing to go along to get along, in contrast to hundreds of other worthless members of Congress who have betrayed their oath of office. Traficant was made an example to anyone else in Congress who dares to rise up against the almighty criminal gang who have hijacked the United States' highest office. It was only 10 days before U.S. President John F. Kennedy's assassination that he publicly made the following shocking statement, quote, "The high office of the president has been used to foment a plot to destroy the Americans' freedom, and before I leave office, I must inform the citizens of this plight," unquote. We have every right to demand the truth from our government, because everything they do in our name and with our money. It's not the unanswered questions that should worry us as much as the unquestioned answers. The media is filled with lying propaganda. Congress is filled with lying criminals. The government is spending our money in our name, and we have a right to know where it's going. This is our First Amendment right, to peaceably protest against the government. This is not anarchy. It is our legal right as citizens of the United States. What you're about to witness is not the traditional Veritas interview. We're stepping into forbidden territory, not only for the mainstream media, but even to alternative media. No matter the topic, Veritas has one simple goal: the uncensored truth. And when I mean uncensored, I really mean it, and you will see why. Whether you're a Republican, Democrat, independent, apathetic, political or apolitical, you know politicians left or right are taking us closer to the precipice. Why did I name tonight's program America, Land of the Scared, Home of the Slave? America with a K, because our situation reminds me of the former Soviet Union. One day, we turned on the TV and the Soviet Union had imploded. No bombs dropped, no war, no death. It ceased to exist as we knew it. Our current trend is taking us there. Land of the scared, because we are exchanging our rights for security, and the manufactured chaos and terrorism keeps the security industry alive while keeping most Americans scared of the next boogeyman. And home of the slave, because slavery was never abolished. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, frontman for the Rothschild banksters and the Federal Reserve System, signed a law putting the U.S. into bankruptcy in 1933 and gave all property and future possessions and property of all the citizens and future citizens to the Rothschild banksters, making us all serfs who own nothing. From the words of former Congressman James Traficant, prior to 1913, most Americans owned clear, allodial title to property, free and clear of any liens or mortgages, until the Federal Reserve Act of 1913 hypothecated all property within the federal United States to the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve, in which the trustees or stockholders held legal title. The U.S. citizen, tenant, franchisee was registered as a beneficiary of the trust via his or her birth certificate. In 1933, the federal United States hypothecated all of the present and future properties, assets, and labor of their subjects, the 14th Amendment, U.S. citizen, to the Federal Reserve System. In return, the Federal Reserve System agreed to extend the Federal United States Corporation all the credit, money substitute it needed. Like any other debtor, the Federal United States government had to assign collateral and security to their creditors as a condition of the loan. Since the Federal United States didn't have any assets, they assigned the private property of their economic slaves, the United States citizens as collateral against the unpayable federal debt. They also pledged the unincorporated federal territories, national park forests, birth certificates, and nonprofit organizations as collateral against the federal debt. The federal United States is bankrupt. Our children will inherit this unpayable debt and the tyranny to enforce paying it. America has become completely bankrupt in world leadership, financial credit, and its reputation for courage, vision, and human rights. This is an undeclared economic war, bankruptcy, and economic slavery of the most corrupt order. Wake up, America. Take back your country.
If you know law enforcement and you got a target, you want a confession. And when you can't get that confession, you want an admission. And I am telling you this right now. They have more tapes on me than NBC. I did nothing wrong. That's why you go ahead and expel me. And I believe this judge is so afraid of what's resonating throughout America, who believe that they should not have to fear their government, and the Congress is their last hope to take it back. And I'm saying this, you speaker, take it back. No American should fear their government, and this guy doesn't. And I'm ready to go. You expel me. It'll make it easier for me to really jack me good. And they're not going to frighten me. I'm ready to go to jail. I'll go to jail before I admit to a crime I didn't commit. And there was never any intent to commit a crime. And when they start bringing letters that you send to cabinet members trying to help your people, folks, there was a dangerous precedent set in U.S. versus Traficant.
This is Jim Traficant, right here on Veritas. Beam me up on Veritas, Mal. Always willing to talk.